to Let Zoe Spoil You. And as you can tell from my paraphernalia, I'm a Death Note fan. I absolutely adored the anime when it first came out. I was completely obsessed with it. I have multiple plushies around the place. I do even have my proper, like, created Death Note with, like, it's all the rules. It even has, like, as if Elle had owned it before, with all the characters' names written in it, of all the people, and look, it's all that, it's just a bit brilliant, and I'm a bit nerdy about it. I had soundtracks, figures, everything. I love Death Note. I'm currently rereading all the manga, and it's just as brilliant and just as epic as when I first read it, all in preparation for this new Netflix Death Note film. Now, I'm giving the film the benefit of the doubt, but my first problem with it is the fact that it's a film. Like, the original anime series was 39 episodes. The manga is 13 volumes, and it's very story heavy. Yet they're going to somehow turn all of that into a film. Even the Japanese movies, like, they changed the storyline for the Japanese movies to make sure it kind of fit their narrative and fit, but they were like 2.5 hour movies. Then there was Elle Changed the World, and now they've brought out some new ones that I really do want to check out. But, you know, they left out some of the other characters. But to do it all in a movie, it's going to be tight. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to cut a load of stuff out of it. Now, what made Death Note brilliant is one of the things that I'm obsessed with is social commentary in anime. Like, my master's was on Japanese culture and the media, and my specialism was in the Lost Decade, which ran from 1991 to 2005, and it details a period of youth culture, unrest, and lots of changing social development in Japan. It's a brilliant piece of period, and it's a brilliant time for various animes, and Death Note was one of them that came out. And Death Note was all about the idea of the youth being the only ones that can rightfully judge society because they have not been corrupted by adult morals, and they're also not so young they don't quite understand the power in the world that they live within. And this was a theme common to a lot of anime. It's what was common to a lot of the new wave mecha that started with Evangelion. It was common in the big films that were very popular at the time, like Suicide Circle, and the idea that only those who haven't reached full adulthood can judge society because they are more idealistic and they're not corrupted by adults' wants, desires, monetary gains, influence, power. Are doing it for the right reasons, and which was what Kira was all about. He wanted to create a world without crime and felt that he had the right, because of his age and his status, to judge who could live or die. And it was very much a Japanese trait of a lot of the anime and manga at the time, especially since Japan was also going through the Lost Decade, which was when the satisfied youth culture was born, starting with films like Battle Royale. And it was the first time that Japanese youth started really, really rebelling against the hegemonic society, against the structure, against the wants that adults had on them and their pressures, and were like, we don't want to listen to adults, we want to forge our own futures in our own society. And Death Note played on that brilliantly, adding in traditional, like, Japanese mythology with the Shinigami lore. It was brilliant. The thing about remaking it in a Western world set now is, well, America doesn't have Shinigami. For a start, that is a product of Shinto religion. Like, America isn't a Shintoist country, so they need to find a different way to introduce Shinigami without it kind of being a bit odd that it's coming from a religion that doesn't even happen in the States. So that's my first query, is like, how are they going to get the Shinigami in there? I mean, I do think that Willem Dafoe as Ryuk is the most perfect casting that could ever happen. I love Willem Dafoe, he's one of my favourite actors. I think he's amazing and just wonderful, and he is destined to play Ryuk. So no problem with that casting. Absolutely brilliant. He's the only one that I'm totally 100% on, because the others are unknowns to me. I don't know their careers, I don't know what they've done before, I just don't know. The guy who's playing Kira looks a little soft, doesn't look like he can go between, like, the hard edge that Kira has and the softer edge that Light has when he's not Kira. And Elle, I know nothing about the guy. I don't know what he's been in before, so I don't know if he can do that kind of creepy, awkward, but gentle, but soft, naive, but intelligent. Like, he's such juxtapositions. You think he's such, like, a recluse. He's essentially a hikikomori. And again, like, America doesn't have that culture. like shut-in culture where you're so obsessed with technology and you can't function in the real world, and you just, all your thought processes are different, and but you can be wonderfully intelligent, but you're so isolated and you barely ever leave rooms and go outside. Elle is like that. Luckily, he's found an outlet for all of that. There is a career from his wonderful intelligence as a detective, but he is a hikikomori. And is another aspect that America doesn't have. America doesn't have a hegemonic society. It doesn't have everybody must think the same. It doesn't have like a youth culture that's always been told that you do school, into work, career, family, the end. Like, you don't spend time doing other things. I mean, they have a school to work system in which you go through your education. At the end of it, you go to this giant work fair. You all have to wear the same outfit, and you go around, see all the various jobs there are, and sign up for your company, and that might be your job for life. You don't have, years abroad. You don't have as much travel. You don't have as much freedom. There's a lot of pressure on Japanese youth. Americans don't. So they don't have as much need for the outlet as Japanese youth do. I mean, it doesn't say that America doesn't have its own youth culture developments, but for Death Note as an American remake to work, they have to base it on what American youth culture and society is doing and not what Japanese society is doing, because otherwise it will fall as flat as Ghost in the Shell did. And I don't know, I'm not enjoying these remakes that try and take the story but don't take the reason that the story was written and the world it was set in, because otherwise they totally fail. I do get upset that no one has ever cast Asian, because I'm like, America has Asians. They exist there. They could be seen in more media. There's some fantastic American actors and actresses coming out in shows all over the place now. There's loads of them, particularly strong of Korean actors that have gone over to America, and they could easily cast them in some of this just to kind of make it feel like there's more of a connection to the audience that originally watched it, that might be trying it out, and I don't know, give us a little bit of a carrot to kind of go, okay, yeah, we see, we're going to go in and enjoy this because we feel like it is representing a media and an art form that we are very devoted to. But I don't know, I've got some reservations. I think Rook will be amazing, but I don't know how the storyline is going to play out in a society that's very different from the society the storyline was originally created for. And I don't like the lack of any kind of Asian faces in these things, because, diversity is a grand thing. And I just don't know where it's going to go. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe when it comes out, I'll do another video and I'll be like, oh my goodness, why was I so worried about this? That was brilliant. Because there's lots of things that represent movements in society and judgment, the whole teen fiction and going on in genres and movies such as The Hunger Games showed that how youth can reject adult society and the power plays and the way that adults want dominance through monetary and political gain, but kids kind of still cling on to those hopes, and sometimes you need that. And what we do with our media and stuff. But will Death Note do it? How are they going to advance the Death Note? Are they going to bring in some kind of social media aspect to it, which is so current now? And a lot of anime is doing social media. There's a lot of horror anime about curses being sent through emails, websites, mobile phones, and games where you vote. What I'm watching at the moment is there's a lot of about how we interact with social media, and if you get so many likes you're safe, but if you don't get likes then you're killed off because you weren't popular enough to exist within the society. Therefore, your Twitter is not popular enough, you're axed. Real account, brilliant manga, wonderful. We'll wait and see. I'm reserving judgment on how awful Death Note is going to be. I really don't like American remakes. They've really fall flat recently. In fact, ever. I don't think there's very many I've ever been like, yes, that is a good remake. But fingers crossed, and maybe Willem Dafoe will just save the day by being amazing as Rook. As per usual, you can catch me on Tumblr at LZSY and the @LoneDreamerYaoi Twitter account. But for now, bye!